Good afternoon. Welcome to the first edition of the video blog, The Brand Man Speaks. Hi, I'm Eli Portnoy, CEO of brand strategy consultancy, Culture Ranch. Today's first episode is going to concentrate on discussion about Paula Deen, the celebrity chef who has recently had a number of problems occur in her career, including losing her show with Food Network, being tossed out by Sears, Target, Walmart, and others as a result of an incident of using racial slurs in her restaurant against a former employee. Paula Deen had become a major brand in the celebrity chef business. She has this soft, down-home, country, gee-whiz kind of personality that was very endearing and attractive to millions. The problem is, Paula Deen stepped over the line, lack of integrity and honesty and transparency, and it's now impacting the Paula Deen brand. So let's take a look. Paula Deen started this problem back a year or so ago with the diabetes drug incident. Many of you may have already forgotten. So this second incident with the racial slur is a number 2 event of inconsistency in Paula Deen versus the Paula Deen brand. So what am I talking about? Paula Deen was discovered to have been on diabetes medication and was a sponsor, a spokesperson for the diabetes drug company. Meanwhile, for years, she's been promoting and dishing out fat-laden recipes and foods that many other chefs and nutrition experts thought were dangerous to people. Might be delicious, but not healthy. She didn't get caught until the spokesperson relationship with the diabetes company went public, and people were upset to hear she was still promoting all this fat-laden food, and yet she was under medication for diabetes, which could be attributed, and might have been attributed, to the kind of eating habits that she had with the kind of food she was recommending. She did a mea culpa. She got through that. We moved on. A lot of chefs were upset with her, but her very rabidly loyal public stayed by her and still liked her cooking. She did indeed make many of her dishes a bit healthier in response to the backlash. Come to the present. It was discovered recently in a deposition that Paula Deen had admitted under oath that she had used racial slurs and the N-word in talking about employees at her own restaurant as part of this lawsuit. That went public. That created an outrage. Why such an outrage? Well, certainly there is a lot of issue about what people say, whether privately or publicly, particularly if they're a celebrity, and the impact it has on the public environment. But more importantly, Paula Deen was a spokesperson for many companies. And that kind of behavior, whether short or long term as part of who she was, is not acceptable. It's an issue of integrity and honesty and transparency. So we have a big issue for corporations. When they hire celebrities to be spokespersons, to endorse their products, there is risk. Although you would have thought that Paula Deen was not the type of person who would have been a risk to any company. So down home, so genuine, so wonderful. What a great deal for a company to be aligned with her and her cooking and her products. The Food Network dropped her because they said their value system and other chefs and their community did not tolerate such racial language use. Swift movement followed. Smithfield Foods dropped her, Walmart dropped her, Target, Sears, Kmart, all carrying her cooking products, all dropped them. Even her diabetes company, the one she's a spokesman for, no longer wants to be associated with her. What does this mean? Celebrities have to be very careful when they're building their brands of several things. One, they have to make sure that everything they're putting out there and they're attaching themselves to and endorsing is consistent with who they are. And that was pretty much true for Paula Deen. But number 2, celebrities have to be especially careful of their behavior. Under the microscope of social media and everything on the internet, almost anything a celebrity does is now almost instantly public. Paula Deen's diabetes issue, which was cleaned up, followed by the racial slurs, was a little bit too much for people. She was not careful. She had to understand that whether or not she could apologize or not, and by the way, her Today apology was considered worthless and futile and very unsatisfactory, her behavior and her languaging and her image was tainted by this association. And these corporations have millions at stake, not only with her, but with other products, other celebrities, other businesses, and they cannot risk having their image tainted by one celebrity. So they break off the relationship. Some people think it's too soon, they should give her a chance to clean up. In this particular case, the severity of the racial slurs, regardless of when and how used, were not acceptable. And to the vast majority of American companies, they cannot afford to their stockholders, to their public, to be associated with people who make these kind of statements, even if they apologize afterwards. It's just not acceptable. Can Paula Deen, the brand, recover? She will. She has a rabid fan base. People love her cooking. They love her down-home style. That's the endearment that they have with her. They love that. But she may have a difficulty getting endorsement money again and relationships with corporations because people are going to be wary. Remind yourself, as I mentioned, this was the second incident that wasn't transparent and wasn't honest, and there's a clear issue of integrity at stake here for Paula Deen and Paula Deen branded products. Stay tuned. We'll talk more about this upcoming as we see this case develop. Thanks for watching. I'm Eli Portnoy for Culture Ranch LLC and the Brand Man Speaks video blog.